But yeah, it's been a little while since we did like a news stream. I would say technically the last one was the Cinder document reading, which I've just decided we're not going to get through. It's too long. I don't want to be a drama channel. I think it takes away from more important issues. Like, obviously what happened with Cinder and all that was not great. But it's not on the level of like importance as what we're going to talk about today, really. So without further ado, I am going to jump right into it. I want to get started immediately. So we are going to discuss the first topic of conversation, which is this Reddit post that was just from a couple hours ago, but is pretty damning. I want to highlight really quickly first. Let me actually go back for a second. So Cradylove, cradylove.com, Crad, was the one that originally flagged this for me via Blue Sky. So I massively appreciate you quite a bit for showing this to me, because I wouldn't have seen this on Reddit otherwise. I use Reddit, but I'm not like the biggest Reddit girl in the world. Like I have a lot of apps actually uninstalled for my phone, for my own mental health, because I don't want to get like updates all the time about every notification ever I get on any social media. So posted on our UK personal finance 3 hours ago from a user named previous camera 1641. I develop adult video games on Steam. I can't find a bank that will actually let me withdraw my money from Steam. Can I get some advice? Game has sold quite well on Steam. I've got almost £90,000 sterling ready to withdraw after Steam's cut and VAT taken off. For those of you in the audience that are American that are wondering what is this in burger, it's about 120k USD. Let me just run that number again. 90,000 pounds to USD. Yeah, so specific number right here as of this moment, $120,000. So essentially a six-figure salary, obviously, or a six-figure amount. Obviously, you know, the US dollar is kind of going through it right now. It's kind of really going through it. I want you back, babe. Give me Biden back. It's really having that kind of moment. But I missed her so much. But I would say an equivalent of about 120k, six figures. So pretty significant sum of money that this adult game developer has made. Congrats to them. However, it's been 2 months now, and they can't find any bank in the UK who will let me withdraw my money from Steam. I've been banned, refused, unable to get a business account with Wise, Revolut, Monzo, Monese, Chase, Starling, Nationwide, Halifax, Barclays, Lloyds, RBS. It always comes down to, where did you get this money from? It's coming from games I sell on Steam. Can we see the store page? Sure. I'm sorry, we can't do business with you at this time. It keeps coming down to a commercial decision purely because I make adult content. What the hell am I supposed to do? I've pretty much exhausted the whole banking system. I just want to be able to be paid for products I've sold. So I went through previous cameras posting history a little bit, looked at this poster. And there's a couple things that did stick out to me about this issue that was particularly cause for alarm. So let's see. One of the big ones right away. I'm going to look through a couple of his posts. One of the big ones right away. One user claims that there are around 260 banks in the UK and 900 payment institutions. You tried 11, just go and branch across every bank you can find and check the response, to which previous camera, the Steam adult developer, said, I've tried a whole handful more. I think it was 36 plus at the last count. But I've left my folder at my accountant's today, so I'm trying to remember a list off the top of my head. I was hoping somebody on here could signpost me to a bank that actually works with people like me. Let's see. There's another one here. We're going to look at that response in a minute. Going to look at that one too. We're going to read through a couple of these. I'll read through a couple of these. Okay. Have you tried asking fellow adult content creators such as OnlyFans models? I did, but the advice I received from industry contacts was to lie about what my business does. That's not practically possible for me given the large sums of money and the public store page. I think this is particularly noteworthy where a lot of people would basically say, well, your content is paywalled, i.e. if you're an OnlyFans model, so you can just say, oh, I do modeling work. It's not explicit, but I do modeling work, and you can get through a bank that way. These banks are obviously being told that adult content is being created, the adult content is shown, and these banks are saying, we don't want to work with you. I'm sorry. Which to me is crazy. Like, how is that legal? How is that legal? Like, I know, like, you know, I know in T-Land and Britland, like, things are a little off the rails, but, you know, like, and we have the same problem too, like a lot of debanking of sex workers in Burgerland, but like, this is crazy to me. Like, something is really broken with British financial institutions. If, you know, a Brit cannot take, you know, a significant sum of money and just store it in a bank because people are upset about the fact that they create adult content on Steam. One user said, I think you should consider being less upfront with the banks. They offer a service they can choose not to offer to anyone they please. How many games do you develop? Perhaps you could show them another one, or perhaps you could show them your company's website, which does not necessarily link to Steam or show any explicit content. Create one if you don't have it already. Talk to a lawyer about this first, not legal advice, etc. I get, to which the adult game developer said, I get that businesses can choose who they want to do business with, but imagine if you wanted to change your electricity supplier and all 6 major companies in your area said they didn't want to supply you electricity because you were a sex worker. Suddenly you're left without power. At present, I've been rejected by about 36 banks. This was, again, about 3 hours ago. This includes every major household name and a whole load of ones that aren't very well known. It's like I've been frozen out of an essential aspect of modern life. You can't run a business if you can't access banking services. This is my first release. I was planning to create more in the UK, but if I can't find a bank, I'm just going to either have to move abroad or wind up my company and find another career. Worth noting that there was a petition about this just last week. The government refused to do anything to fix the situation. This is the one that hit about 10K, the official petition where the government basically said, lol, no. Payment processors are able to choose who they process payments for, subject to any relevant requirements. The government has no plans to intervene in those commercial decisions. If we look a little bit more, this user also had Revolut for Business, but that got shut down shortly after release when they asked to see my store page. Steam support are content to hold on to the money while I find myself a new business bank, but they aren't able to offer local banking advice. Someone recommended Tide, to which they said, try them. Thanks for your suggestion, though. We're unable to service business operating in the adult entertainment or sex industry. This includes pornography. My own accountant has 2 separate people in his office looking into this, and they've hit dead ends too today. I got a call from him at 4:30 today, and he just sounded completely defeated. Oh my God. Imagine you work as an accountant and you take on a client who is going to basically every possible bank they can find in Britain, and the accountant whose job it is to work with money in this capacity is like, Nah, man, I'm fried. I'm beat, bro. I'm beat. Oh, governor, I'm beat. There's no way. We're not doing this. This ain't coming through. You are not the absolute governor. I don't know if that was a good British accent or not, but that's crazy. That's fucking insane. That's fucking insane. Anna misses Dementia Biden. Yeah, people in these situations need access to the money they rightfully earned. Exactly. Yeah, simply check every bank in your country is not really a feasible ask. It's important to remember that, like, going to a bank in this capacity, like going to a bank, taking a couple hours out of your day, unless you have like a mental health thing like social anxiety that's causing stress for you, it's really not like a major cost. Going to every fucking bank possible and having your accountant on it, taking phone calls with your accountant to find a bank for basically the USD equivalent of a 6-figure income that you made from your adult game, like that is a significant time sink that should be put into doing better things, like, I don't know, that adult developer working on their game, managing their community, working on DLC, planning for the future, making sure all the admin stuff at their company is taken care of. Like, this is a waste of their time. Like, this is not just costing them in the sense that they literally can't cash out and then pay anyone who needs to if that's the case, but also literally this is wasting their valuable business time. Like, it's a complete and utter disrespect to the professional work that this adult developer is doing. And clearly it's professional because they made a lot of fucking money off of this. And they have an accountant. Whoops. Where was I? Okay. What would I be upset to have as a banker? Another 120,000? That'd be awful. I want only the most pristine and untouched by a human hand bills in my bank. No, I will not be taking deposits you grubby hands transacted with those. It's crazy because these banks, they'll sit there and be like, we don't want to touch adult games. But then, like, you know, like, they're certainly happy to handle the money of, like, companies that are complicit in the Gazan genocide. The genocide in Gaza, excuse me. Like, they're completely, like, they're happy to handle money that is blood money, right? But God forbid you have a titty out, then suddenly that's a big fucking problem. Like, the whole entire way our society, and I say ours in Western society, Western financial institutions as well, the whole entire way Western, like, financial institutions and society is run is fucking crazy. It's, like, morally bankrupt. We will happily handle money that's, like, used to, like, discriminate against gay people and trans people from, like, all these, like, hateful companies. But oh my god, like, you showed a titty in a video game. I'm hyperventilating. Manager, there's a boobie in front of me. It's fucking nuts, dude. It was offensive enough, so it's fine. It sounded a bit more awesome. Yeah, having someone else who's got great financial interest in you getting that money saying, I don't know, man, would be the most stressful financial situation I can imagine. Hey, Fenelor, hey, weren't they denied by HSBC? They've openly invested in crypto grips. Yeah, they were. They talked about this here, too. Let me find it. Yep, here we go. Rejected by HSBC too. Sorry, I really should update the original post to include all the ones people suggest. I've basically asked every major high street bank from Halifax to RBS to Lloyds TSB and every major phone banking app like Revolut, Monzo, etc. I had to actually go for a face-to-face assessment in HSBC for my business account. That was a really awkward meeting. Imagine wearing, like, your nicest clothes and showing your Steam store page. It's like, so here is if you can see over here, there's the anime titty, and I made 6 figures off this, so can you please take my money? Because 35 other banks would not. All right, let's see. There is also him talking a little bit about the actual content. Yeah, okay. So what's interesting too is they said, I already have an LTD company. The issue is that I can't find anybody in the banking sector who will let my business bank with them. Whoops. And then also they said a portion of what I produce is tentacle monster content. Already spoken with a solicitor who provided advice that it likely wouldn't fall foul of obscenity laws. He talked me through an old case involving a writer whose content included fictionalized murder of a real music group, Girls Aloud, and that wasn't deemed obscene. This is crazy in and of itself. Like, this is actually crazy. Like, especially if that's a case of, like, misogynistic writing. Like, if the intent here was misogynistic and the banks and, you know, well, the UK basically decided, like, that wasn't obscene. That's fine. But, oh my god, tentacle monster content? That's crazy, dude. That is fucking nuts. I always find it weird when banks care about the money's origin when it's completely legal. If adult content isn't banned in country, then banks should be required to take it. Yeah, absolutely agreed. Let's see if there's any other updates. Anything else that's pertinent? Let's see. PayPal. Here's regarding PayPal, because someone asked, is PayPal an option? It rarely is in these instances. I mean, it is a way to hide the content that you're doing in some cases, but PayPal will let me transfer from bank A to bank B. At the minute, I have 0 bank accounts, so PayPal isn't of any help to me whatsoever. I need to link some kind of bank account to PayPal, and I have 0 bank accounts right now for my business, so obviously that's a problem for them too. Trying to see what else. yeah, I don't think there's much else really to add, but it's I'm glad Steam is being supportive of them. Steam is basically like, we'll hold on to your money in the process. Go figure this out. It's all right. But reaching out to 36 plus banks and everyone basically saying no is crazy. That's crazy. And then Starling said, we facilitate payments for a wide range of industries, but we can't support payments relating to the following activities and also will not onboard clients who have a significant business in these areas: pornography, adult entertainment, dating, or escort services. As others have mentioned, this is debanking in the wild. This is debanking. This person is being debanked. They're not able to take a large sum of money and bring it into a bank because the bank will refuse to work with them. Debanking is not necessarily just, I had an account, then I lost it. It's also, we're not going to offer you a bank. We're not going to work with you. We are refusing to work with you. There can be multiple motivations for why this is happening. In the US, this was for the longest time led by the Obama era DOJ, really implementing of Operation Choke Point, scrutiny on pornography and sex workers. So in the US, there is that legacy, and you could argue there's some ripple effect into that affecting larger Western institutions, especially Western countries that have close relationships with the US. You could also argue potentially that this has to do with credit card companies having anxiety about who banks work with. So it's a little bit MasterCard. It could be a little bit MasterCard sticking its disgusting puritanical fingers into different banks and saying, no, don't work with these people. But also there's always the very simple, very real possibility that these banks, they just don't like pornography. They just don't like adult content. They don't treat those people as real, legitimate individuals. I really feel for this individual. I think, unfortunately, what they're going to have to do is what the sex workers have been advising to them to do, which is basically hide what you're doing, which would suck, but I don't know. They might have to create some super safe for work company looking website. They might have to create some shell company style shit. I'm not sure. I gotta feel bad for them. It's not good. And I'll say what I said earlier, which is, look, I really do think, while to butcher a quote from Kurt Vonnegut, the power of the whole entire games journalism industry on this stuff can be the equivalent of a banana pie in the face. I also do think that developers like this one should be receiving a lot more support from the games press. I'm going to keep banging that drum because there are individuals who are in states where they can cover this stuff with ease. And I'm just really disappointed. There are some major games journalists across outlets, from independent to not, who have the power to hone in on this issue and take it seriously, acknowledge it as a major form of discrimination against basic artistic, creative rights, but they don't want to because it's gross, because it's skeevy, because it's adult, and we don't want to discuss adult content. It might hurt us with Google. We can't have that. Mommy Google. Oh, Mommy Google, please. Please tell me I'm a good boy. Mommy Google. See? So, I'm very disappointed. Again, it's not like the games journalism industry could fix this problem in and of itself, because the games journalism industry is massively weakened, but I'm going to always beat that drum, right? That the games journalism industry does have responsibility to discuss this issue in detail. And, a huge shout out to those that continue to. There are a couple outlets that continue to. The Gamer has done a really good job. Rock, Paper, Shotgun has stayed on top of this issue. PC Gamer has as well. And, of course, one that I'm about to segue into is Polygon via Patricia Hernandez, who I've been really, really happy with Patricia doing this coverage. Patricia's always been a journalist that I respected a lot. But she has really stayed on top of this issue. Even when things have quieted down, she's come back to cover it again. And I really think she sets the standard for some of her contemporaries, as in those that start in the games journalism industry the same time as her, to pick up the slack and get over their hangups of adult content. And please cover this beat, because Lord knows I'm going to keep yelling at other games journalists that they are dropping the ball until they collectively pick it back up. Like, I'm going to keep talking that way. I'm going to keep calling out my former colleagues now that, I don't know, I'm a filthy, disgusting, degenerate VTuber. So, but yeah, massive shout out to Patricia staying on top of this. I've been really happy to see Polygon continue to cover this, especially in an era where they have been purchased by Valnet. So I'm really happy that Patricia has continued to use her platform to discuss this issue, and we will get into it in a second for sure. Let me catch up with chat. Hello, everyone. Just a reminder, if you didn't see, if you're lurking, just listening, don't forget to drop that ! lurk or lurk redeem. It helps a lot with CCV and the YouTube, and not YouTube, the Twitch algorithm, because the Twitch algo sucks ass right now. It's dropping all of our CCVs. Yeah, like most banking transactions are also supposed to be private. What some fuddy-duddy is going to visually recognize an NSFW artist. Yeah, exactly. Also, like, not to do like the whole like hierarchy thing, like, and stuff, but if you are an adult content creator with an LTD and you're making good income and you show like a good sense of business and like you don't have angry customers, like, that's gotta register as low risk compared to like what would, you know, like it's crazy to me that banks would also in some cases be like, oh, you're a high risk client because you work with pornography. It's like, well, if everyone that client works with is professional, if they're professional, if everything looks clean, then they're not a high risk client. They just work with pornography. Like, that's, you know, like I think a lot of times the idea of like adult content creators being, or adult, you know, or like sex workers and stuff like that being like quote unquote high risk is like a bit made up. I think like it's overstated to like charge a very vulnerable group of creators who are forced to play to the rules of these big businesses. Like, I think already like it's massively overstated by financial institutions and companies, but it is crazy. It is crazy. What do you mean? That's not legally obscene. Gross but obscene is the legal definition. I don't know what you're talking about. I already forgot what you're talking about. Is there any updates for what should be said to banks? Haven't done phone calls in a bit, and wondering if there are any talking points. Are things to look out for when contacting these banks? PayPros, not really. I think like it just continues to be the same things. I'm actually a bit behind on the bank like calling situation. I think, I'm gonna be honest, I think when ACLU and Fight for the Future and a couple other organizations said like phone calls might not help that much, so it's like not to be prioritized as much, I think, and they were like sign petitions instead. I think that was bad advice. And I think it significantly dampened interest in calling people, because in calling banks, calling payment processors, because I think people didn't fully realize that ACLU Fight for the Future were also trying to get like people to just sign up for their mailing lists for money. So I think a little bit of that was going on too, where it's like I think some of that organizing might have been hindered slightly by, you know, these kind of like nonprofit groups saying like you should sign petitions, and the petitions can be useful, but only in my opinion if they're government petitions or there's real actionables from like the ACLU, etc. So I think there was a little bit of organizing motivation actually dampened by the AMA that dropped. I mean, I myself was like at the time being like, oh, okay, like don't call as much, got it. But with perspective, I think unfortunately, a lot of cold water was splashed on calling as well during that time period, because a lot of folks looked at what the ACLU and et cetera were saying in the AMA, and I forget who specifically said like phone calls like will only do so much, but I actually think from what I know now, having, you know, the connections that I do, phone calls actually had a much bigger impact than some outsiders looking in would assume. So I think the only thing I would say is just please continue to make the phone calls. Like, it's really important. That's what I would say. And that's why there's an executive order in the States, but that's not it. We can find a bunch of banks, but payment acquirers and processors are the oligopoly. I think it's really, a lot of this does come down to mostly the card networks first. I think the banks and the card networks combined are really key. And it's important to understand with the executive order, while a lot of folks that work on this issue are feel good about it. They think that the Trump era EO that just got published a little while ago about debanking spells good signs for us. We really have to wait and see whether banks are going to try to discriminate against sex workers, adult content creators de facto. So it's promising, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we are exactly headed in the right direction until we see the right direction has been headed into. Really shouldn't be illegal to do. As you said, it would be like cutting off water or power for similar reasons. Exactly. Stuff like this makes me worried if I attempt even making NSFW stuff. I'm going to be unable to like do basic things like get revenue. Hi, LSSJ Gaming, by the way. Chloe, it's good to have you. Like, these banks are like, lol, you can't eat food because you make porn. You're doing what to the drum? Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's a situation where these banks are coming in and they're saying what is and isn't appropriate to do for you to make a living. And I think one day in the future, we're going to look back at this period and see it as truly barbarous. Like, giving that much power to a financial institution is utterly insane. But a lot of people have decided to also let that happen because they're sitting there saying, like, I just play the porn. I don't make the porn. Not it. So, you're a good girl. Thank you, Onyx. Very cool. How you doing, Onyx? But that's so much harder than just saying there should be more trans women in games journalism before not hiring any. Yeah, I mean, like, how many working trans women in games journalism are there right now? Like, I know a couple that are writing for smaller websites, and I know a couple here and there. But, like, anyone that I knew, even the folks that were like low key about it, are just out. Like, they're gone. Like, it's not there anymore. It's very quickly mostly becoming like white guys again. Like, that's dude, my editor at Waypoint, at New Waypoint, is not in games journalism anymore. Like, Dwayne left. He's in PR now. Like, Blue Sky fucking ran that guy out of games journalism, dude. Like, fucking insane. And he was nothing but a good boss to me. He was one of the better bosses I've ever had in games journalism. Probably the best boss I've had. And it's crazy to me. Like, everyone's like, we want diversity in the newsroom. We want diversity in the newsroom. And then, like, my boss, then, like, Dwayne, who is a black games journalist, gets, like, run out of games journalism. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. We'll ask, when did this just broke? Like, agreed it should be discussed, but if this just broke, would say give it a day or two. I'm talking more in general, like in the general sense of, like, games journalists have not stayed on top of this. Games journalists right now, here's the thing, Homer, here's the thing. Like, yes, it just did drop a couple hours ago, but they're not going to cover it unless it's like The Gamer, maybe RPS. And quite frankly, a lot of places are not going to cover it, save for seeing me tweet about it and post about it and going viral on Blue Sky. If I didn't post about it, it wouldn't be seen by these folks. I'm going to stress, though, that games journalists across outlets should be, like, en masse interviewing adult game developers right now and asking you, like, how are you doing? Like, what's the future look like for you? Are you nervous? Are you scared? What steps are you taking? Like, this is stuff that I used to do. After the Tumblr NSFW ban happened, I would, like, interview people mid-ban, after the ban, check-ins with them, like, let's talk about what happened. Like, that has been lost in games journalism. And obviously, Tumblr NSFW ban is not technically games journalism, but you get what I mean, right? Like, this is something that's been lost from games journalism, and I don't think it's coming back anytime soon. And I think the folks that actually do that kind of work, we all switch to content creation. Like, there's a reason all of us are fucking streamers now, or, like, run Substacks or beehives, which sounds very lewd to me. It sounds like a euphemism. I don't remember if this is the exact same dev from months ago, but situations like this have definitely come up, and Anna's covered it before. I double checked, and this is also not the same Redditor as before, if I recall correctly. Could have deleted the last post, but there was also another issue in the UK of, like, PayPal. If NSFW games are making up to 6 figures like that one dev did, it's absurd major outlets aren't covering it. This is not the first time either that an adult game developer has said basically, like, my 6-figure income from this adult game cannot come through. Like, I can't get it. Like it's I'm being limited by it. I'm being censored by it. And these outlets are not covering it unless it's like The Gamer, unless it's like RPS, unless it's like PC Gamer, and if Patricia's covering at Polygon. Like I think I basically listed all of them. And then there's also some more indie ones like Automaton. Let me double check the name of that. Did I get that correct? Yeah, Automaton also has done a really good job. We'll be talking about some of Automaton's coverage very shortly. But that's it. That's it. You know what? Actually, what side of games journalism covers this issue a lot? The Japanese side of games journalism. That side does a good job. But games journalists really drop the ball. And to be fair, for a lot of games journalists, it's really hard to even get their hands on the ball. But I'm saying this because there's folks that should know better. And I think a lot of times when they see me saying you should know better, they just get defensive, angry, mad, basically saying like, who is this trans woman to tell me what to do? A white cis guy, which is like, yeah, I'm your peer. Like, shut the fuck up. You should be covering this. You have the opportunity and the resources. Get to it, dog. Like you should not be, the whole community should not be relying on like me and like all the other like more independent journalists and like, you know, like The Gamer alone, PC Gamer alone to get news about this. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. There's a total abdication of responsibility. Total abdication. I think I saw like, I think the one... besides Nathan at Aftermath, Nicole Carpenter, who I adore, has also covered this. And I'm not surprised because Nicole is someone who's also really on top of these sorts of issues in the sense of like things that people are not always thinking about that are affecting people in the games industry. And that's basically it. Like all the bigger names, all the names that were like EICs or like major writers or whatever at different sites. No, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. If it's not Silk Song, and Silk Song's great, but we're talking about people's livelihoods here. Like this is the reason why I and many other people became journalists to talk about issues like this. Swapping industry is just the norm these days. I've left multiple careers and it's heavy, always restarting. Switching, I was talking about this earlier, switching from games journalism to VTubing was really tough for me because most people in the VTubing world are more like gamer geeky types that are really into like, they don't really read games journalism, so no one really knew who I was until I started writing for Vice, and then people were like, oh my god, like Anna's a journalist, and she's doing crazy shit, like oh my god. And but also like in VTubing, like no one knew who I was until like everyone was like, oh my god, I now know who Anna is. But it was very hard because I felt also like when I started in VTubing, I would be in rooms where like no one gave a fuck who I was because I didn't hit Twitch partner yet, because my CCV was too low for them, because, you know, I wasn't making enough money on like on Patreon yet, because I didn't have, you know, the high subscriber count on YouTube when I had it before. There's a lot of pressure to be like super successful so people take you seriously in VTubing. That swap was really tough because I went from a more holistic appreciation, like no one in games journalism is asking you like, did you get read by 5,000 people today or not, to the equivalent of the only thing that matters is like whoever 5,000 people saw you today, and that's it. And that was a real switch for me. Like that, I had to brace myself for that. I felt like I went from an industry where I had a lot of respect and I could carry that respect to protect people, like protect, say, like trans women that are, you know, in the industry, in games, things like that, to being like completely, utterly disrespected in a lot of rooms. So bees are too lewd. Yeah, but what you're describing is being a journalist, not a member of the enthusiast press, which is what it feels like gaming press seems to have gone back to. Yeah, I mean, again, like look at what Aftermath does. Like it's actually the enthusiast press with a little bit of reporting usually from their freelancers, like Nicole and stuff. That's it. Sound cue for games journalist activation from AC6. Wake the dog up. I don't know. According to CBS Journalism, is now op-ed since Barry Weiss has taken. Man, Danny. Did you see that? They spelt his name wrong in the fucking like free press article of CBS. Man, Danny. That's so fucking funny. It's so fucking funny. If you do the grift, you're not like, grifting is something you do when the skills are lacking. It's like that saying, like, those who can't do teach, those who can't do grift. How are you doing, Saris? It's good to have you, sweetie. Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. Free Press bought that. It's crazy. Or Free Press, CBS, whatever. They've got that connect going on. Waste of everyone's time. All right. That's enough, like, complaining. Let's talk about Patricia Hernandez's piece because, again, like I've said, number one, Patricia Hernandez fan in here. She has done a fantastic job staying on top of this issue. Numbers for Respect genuinely ruined a lot of animation festivals as people are always checking numbers when networking. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Oh, wait. I missed what you said, Azor Witch Anise. I'm not sure if it's possible, but maybe could start contacting the Scottish Parliament about these things too, since Scots law is separate from English Welsh law. I think, unfortunately, I think after the UK petition issue, there needs to be some serious reorganizing around how we're going to continue to keep people motivated in this fight because it's just such an uphill battle. People need easy wins, and they're not quite getting it yet, save for coverage on what the Japanese side of the adult industry is doing. So, as Steam cracks down on adult games, one dev urges taking back control. Digital downloads are not nearly as special as physical releases, and game developers can customize their work to a much larger degree. Patricia Hernandez a day ago. Every few days, 27-year-old Rosario checks Steam. He wants to make sure his visual novels about a queer sex worker, Parfum Nostalgique, is still up on the popular PC distribution platform. He's heard of games getting pulled from Steam for simply having LGBTQ content, and just as many stories of creators who are surprised their games have survived an ongoing culling. Nobody really knows what gets a game taken down, Rosario told Polygon in an interview. Rosario is one of many indie game developers affected by the payment processor dilemma that's taken hold of Steam over the last few months. In 2025, a compendium of games was delisted from the platform in part due to a campaign waged by Collective Shout. The extremist organization has made no secret of the fact it wants gaming platforms to enact stricter rules against games that feature violence against women, regardless of the context under which it transpires and with no care for the nuance the depiction might hold. Okay, we gotta stop 1 second. Patricia, so fucking based for this. Holy shit. I have not seen a games journalist describe Collective Shout as an extremist organization yet. This is so based. Oh my god. Based, common Patricia Hernandez W over here. That's crazy. That's crazy based on her part. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's so based. I wouldn't even describe them that way, even though it's correct, because I wouldn't want people to yell at me. That's crazy. Earlier this year, Group made a point to reach out to executives at companies like Visa and MasterCard to convince them that their technology was being used to purchase morally questionable content. Payment processors deny that they've played any part in the pressure to take down games of sexual themes, and they say that they're fine with anything so long as it is legal. But representatives from major platforms like Steam contradict those narratives by claiming pressure was exerted by intermediaries who represent the interest of the payment processors. In other words, the edict to pull or refuse NSFW games may not have come directly from entities like Visa or MasterCard, but the groups that did express concern to Valve work in tandem with those processors. If this sounds messy, that's because it is. Things have only continued to unravel as game developers claim they can no longer use Steam's early access model for adult games, yet still lack real clarity about what rules they're breaking and how to avoid them. Meeting that moment, Rosario has recently released a pay-what-you-can zine called Holding the Baby, How to Make and Distribute Physical Games in the Age of Digital Download Dominance. Try saying that 5 times fast. Digital download dominance, digital download dominance, digital download dominance, digital download dominance, digital download dominance. That was actually kind of easy. The idea is that if digital platforms are exerting too much control over what people can or cannot play, then perhaps it is time to take back control through self-distribution. It's an initiative that might sound daunting, especially for indie developers with limited budgets and time, yet Rosario believes developers have much to gain from physical releases. There's a little bit of the physical release stuff over here, I suppose. When Rosario refers to physical games, he's not talking about CDs or cartridges. Those are certainly options, but one of the most cost-effective forms of physical media are USB drives. And USB drives don't have to be boring rectangular sticks. They come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, and colors. You can have a flash drive that's shaped like a key, or a flash drive that pops out of a credit card. I'm sorry, 1 second. Patricia Hernandez is out here like, the internet is done. Get on physical media now. And I'm just like, oh my God, she's so ahead of like where the rest of the games journalists are. Like, it's not literally what she's saying. It's just like something that popped in my head. But she actually, like, she gets it, dude. Like, she gets it in a way other people that are her own colleagues do not get it yet. This is sick. Oh my God. My estimation of what Polygon can do with NSFW coverage has just skyrocketed. This is sick. Other sites are like, maybe like we talked to Collective Shout, and then this one's like, get on USBs. Physical is the future. Digital dominance is a major issue. Anything can be censored. Get on a USB drive. That's just, oh my God. Like that 9,000 IQ happening right here, right now. This is crazy. I don't mean to glaze. I'm just like that. This is above what a lot of the other folks in the industry are capable of thinking about right now. Critically, mediums like this allow for a far more bespoke experience than a standardized store page can. Platforms like itch.io do allow for more customization than Steam does, but ultimately, you're still limited by a specific shape and format. When you bring physical distribution into the mix, the only real limit is your imagination. To illustrate this point, Rosario points to his own game. During events and while engaging with real-world customers, Rosario pulls out a circular wafer USB, which can hold information on a thin stick that folds down. The USB has been adorned with luscious illustrations on the front and dangles from a large blue tassel. All of this wraps around a larger card that's shaped like a classic perfume bottle. Looking at it, you might not even realize it's a game at all. That's crazy. That's sick. Oh my God, that's sick. Flash drive shaped like a cock. Just gonna say it. Shaped like a Fuda schlong. Physical games, my beloved. Physical games, my beloved. The UK refusing 3 times has been maddening. These events are someone's villain origin story. Real. PayPros are putting people in a position where not using traditional payment systems just to get full access will be the norm. And I have seen what happens when people no longer believe in financial accountability as they have nothing to lose. That's very true. Want to do something like this even for safe for work projects, TBH. Heck yeah, self-pub authors and comic artists have been talking about exactly that USB thing and other physical releases since the Steam and itch stuff started. I'm not going to go as far as to say that this is the future, but I think there are some elements of it being what we might see in the future. Is what I'm going to say. Critically, mediums like this allow for a far more bespoke experience than a standardized store page can. Wait, did I read this? Yeah, I did. Okay. And why stop there? Rosario also points toward releases he's done where the games are contained in sheer envelopes with green twine and a red seal that's evocative of a rose. If you want to go one step further, you can make a custom wax seal to hold it all together. Whatever the case, the point is to make holding and opening games special. Oh, that's cool. I like this. This is cool. I like this. This is neat. I enjoy this. Rosario didn't come up with the idea of distributing art this way and credits forerunner organizations like State of Play, which sells games in cassette tape boxes. And Rosario is aware that pivoting to self-distribution doesn't really solve the larger issue. But as he sees it, we're already living in a brutal world that's often devoid of joy. Turning games into art projects like this could help developers tap into the positive reasons they make games in the first place. It also makes it more likely that the player's experience with the game will be more memorable. I think everyone's game should have the opportunity to be more than a game, but a memento of a day in someone's life. An object that sits in their house, a personal belonging, Rosario says. When I sell a physical copy, it starts its journey, traveling on its adventure. If I left it up to a mass marketplace or a social media algorithm to distribute my work, all I'd have to tell me my work was reaching people would be a quick, underwhelming check of numbers. Developers don't necessarily have to rush to abandon Steam, even if the environment is full of uncertainty. And Rosario says he's grateful he can be on the platform, which makes finding community easy and convenient. It's not about giving the finger to Valve either, but recent events should be a wake-up call to developers, Rosario says. Payment processors and by proxy distribution platforms cannot always be on the side of the creators. So where are we supposed to go if we can't trust our platforms to have our backs, Rosario muses. I don't know the answer to that, but I think it would be wise if we all took steps to take back the means of how our work is distributed in some way. There's the link, by the way. Me and Sarah both both posted it. You can read it right there. It's not paywall. It's free to read. You just pop in and read it. So there you go, Little Siberian Bear, if you want to read it. That's cool, Drip. That's Drip. That's cool. That's cool, Drip. That's cool, Drip. If you ask Rosario, whoops, he has no idea why his game is still up on Steam. Parfum Nostalgique is not a salacious adventure full of sex, but he also knows some developers have gotten dinged for way tamer content. But Rosario's dreamed of being a game developer since he was 7. He's not about to let some invisible force entirely he's not about to let some invisible force entirely what happens next. It's naive to suggest that everything will be fixed if we all delete our games from Steam and itch.io and move on to our own website, and I don't want anyone to think that's what I'm trying to say, but there simply should be no attempt at a library of Alexandria for games, Rosario said. It's not sustainable, it's not reliable, and we need to shift our attention to more methods of distribution that are. I was submitting something, an ASMR, to Reddit earlier today, and I realized there's a really good like search index for ASMR on Reddit, and that really made me think about this idea. Like, when I read this, I immediately thought about that search index, because the way that search index works is it's pulling from a site that has a bunch of ASMR, but the search index itself, the search index website off Reddit, does not host any of the content. In fact, Reddit really doesn't host audio content. It's usually linked out to numerous number of other sites, and I really feel like we need to move in the direction of that kind of aggregation again, like sites that are like centralized communication areas, but like the actual content hosting is done elsewhere. I think that might be one future for at least sharing and distributing content without facing censorship. Now, monetizing it, obviously a different story, but yeah, it's important not to have this centralized Library of Alexandria when that's clearly not been working. Okay, this is super good, but this doesn't work at scale. Like, if you do small release, then sure, this can work, but if you're planning on doing massive scale release, doing physical is like a nightmare. That's my only issue. I think it's important to remember that, like, we're talking about an independent queer developer. We're not talking about someone who's saying, like, you know, like, this is what Illusion, or Ill Games should do. You know what I mean? Like, I think the context of this being like a queer indie dev like really needs to be put into perspective, because it's the impression I get, like it's a queer indie devs games. So yeah, well, there you go, you got the flag right there. So I think that needs to be put into perspective, because yeah, this is not like sustainable if like you're trying to do like a mass produced run, but if like if you're an independent creator, then it's a little different. Obviously, right, like, would be cool to get like a feature that's like an interview with various devs, really dig into that, talk to a lot of different people who both have and have not been affected yet, but that's more of a wish list thing. I thought this was really cool from Patricia to do. I'm glad that she took this larger conversation with a developer, turned it into an article. I think it's a really good opening the door to asking, you know, what is the future for handling this issue? Are we just going to sit back and let digital content distribution as it exists today dominate and potentially make us all at risk of the whims of whatever platform, whatever, you know, payment processor, whatever bank, whatever card network in the equation decides? Whereas this article suggests, hey, there might be alternatives to what we consider as like firm fact at the moment. And I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Definitely, I think it would have been cool if Patricia got in, like, maybe like talk to a couple other devs, maybe folks that like have some experience with this level of like doing distribution on a physical level. Maybe talk to like someone like Todd, actually, as is a good example for someone who like can give like a counterbalance talking about this outside the NSFW realm. But I think just as a conversation of one developer, I think it's pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat. I'm really glad that she did this. I think it's really sick. Yeah, no, I really feel like Patricia has stayed on top of this issue and has also been bringing more of a platform to this issue, because Polygon, even though it's been purchased by Velnet and had its own woes during the year, Polygon does continue to hold a lot of cachet, influence. People click on it and trust it. So I'm really glad Patricia covered this and continues to stay on top of this beat. She could have decided not to. She could have said, fuck it, I don't care, whatever, doesn't affect me, I'm gonna go write about like what games I'm playing today. But she's not doing that. She's staying on top of the issue. She's being a good journalist, so really appreciate that. There's a group working on something similar to that idea, that Conjured Inc. Again, more authorial-focused toolbox for setting up a personal site whose shop feeds into a centralized searchable catalog. I saw that as well. I know there's a couple other folks also experimenting with different ideas in that regard. I'm always very careful about spotlighting or highlighting some of those projects until I start to see clear signs that like they're trusted, their success, things like that. Because if I do highlight those things, people take it as an automatic endorsement of everything going on instead of just like, here's a thing going on. So I've been a bit nervous about highlighting some of those things, because Blue Sky in particular, because I think Blue Sky is the site that get the most engagement on this specific issue these days. Blue Sky does take like sharing anything that's a new project as an automatic endorsement of that, as opposed to reporting on it. So I've unfortunately been very nervous until I see like more signs of where that is going. But I think that stuff's really cool. There's another one I saw too that was like a modular kind. It seemed like it was trying to get funding on Indiegogo. Yeah, there's something is going to come out of this. I don't think you can out engineer this issue. You can't just sit there and be like, I'm going to solve like a perfect engineered solution to financial institutions discriminating, especially because like the walls are closing in, like things are really closing in. But I am interested to see how people try to work around this issue with new websites, new services, because I'm already seeing some of that to the point where there's like some potentially successful website ideas that I'm like being careful about not broadcasting right away. So they don't get seen by like more censorious types, and seeing how things develop. There's no easy solutions. Yeah. Homer's right. There's no easy solutions. There's just a lot of different approaches. People will make something creative. I think we'll continue to see the screws tighten on this issue. I think we'll continue to see an intense focus on this issue, but and with financial institutions, with governments, but there will be steps taken that at least protect, not protect, but give creators the opportunity to try to stay one step ahead of governments, financial institutions before the whack-a-mole begins again. They have to transfer to other sites and etc. So a good example of this actually is Rplay, right? Like Rplay, a Korean-based, like kind of ASMR-oriented website, has a very loose TOS at the moment. It seems really good for ASMRs, VTubers. There's safe for work content. There's NSFW content. It seems like a good alternative to Fansly in that regard, but we have to wait and see what happens with Rplay. I wouldn't be surprised if, things are great with Rplay now, and then like a couple of years later, TOS changes start to come in, certain content starts to get banned, but Rplay is a bit of a wild west right now, so we will go take advantage of it until we can't, and then we switch platforms. This is... I think financial censorship is increasing and going to continue to increase. I think governmental censorship is increasing and going to continue to increase. But there will always be opportunities to play the whack-a-mole. And sites like Rplay, especially sites that are not necessarily technically US-based, like Rplay, will continue to give us opportunities to at least try to create adult content on the internet in ways where we don't get censored, or we can create stuff for a little bit before we inevitably get censored. So... distributed systems for responding to the censorship situation probably wouldn't hurt, though. I agree. I think someone that's really interested in AT Proto just has to grow some balls and create like an actual adult content solution on AT Protocol. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, because a lot of the core developers of AT Proto are very weird about adult content. Like they just have weird opinions about it. They continue to, in my personal opinion, they try to hide that they have weird opinions about it. But someone's just gotta grow some balls, create some sick ass NSFW website in AT Proto, and make Jay Blue Sky hate the fuck out of them. People find ways to make stuff work, but oh boy, does it get more annoying. Yeah. Well, yeah, it does cost money too. Let us change gears. We're not going to read this one yet. We're going to read this one. Politico. 4chan hit by £20,000 sterling UK watchdog fine. Did you guys see this earlier? 4chan got hit with burger site gets hit with fine from T country. Are these British jokes doing anything for you? So you're not going to pay that. And they're absolutely not, especially because there's a lawsuit right now that's basically 4chan and Kiwi Farms saying, lol, you don't need to make me pay, which is like, oh, okay, yeah. So that is something that's like completely happening about this. I'm just checking really quickly to see if there's anything else I missed, like on the internets. I'm not going to read through, by the way, the 10,000 plus UK petition response, because I feel like we've already discussed that. I did a brief mini news segment before I chatted with Ember on Saturday, so there's not really much to talk about there. But this Politico story, though, is the best iteration of what I'm about to read that I've seen yet. I'm just doing a quick news sweep before I actually read it. And then we'll talk about the automaton situation. There's something a bit like what DealSite is doing with alternative payments. That's really cool. It's not an in-house system, though, so I want to stress that, but it's really really cool. I'm seeing if there's anything else that's particularly good on the anti-censorship front, but I'm not really seeing much. Again, a lot of the more right-wing folks that would also cover this issue are just straight up like obsessed with Hassan right now. Doggate. So there's not really much even coming from those accounts when I would check them either. All right, so let's talk about this. Yeah, so there is a lawsuit between like basically lawyers representing 4chan and Kiwi Farms against, like, I believe Ofcom is the one being sued specifically. And it's basically over like whether a UK company can come in and like, whether Ofcom, the UK government via Ofcom can come in and like moderate a US website, because Kiwi Farms and 4chan are that. So this is, I think, sort of like I think this is like supposed to be like a propaganda lap for Ofcom, basically putting the screws on 4chan, saying like, yeah, we're doing this. We're fucking doing this. All right, 4chan from Politico. 4chan hit by £20,000 sterling UK watchdog fine. UK Tech Secretary Liz Kendall says levy against the online message board is a quote-unquote clear warning to other providers. London, October 13th, 11:12 a.m. CET. The provider of online message board 4chan has been fined £20,000 sterling by the UK's communications regulator Ofcom for failing to respond to requests for information about its compliance with the Online Safety Act. Preston Bryan, a lawyer representing 4chan, said in August that Ofcom had provisionally decided to fine 4chan for £20,000. Ofcom's statement today confirms that is the case. We'll reread this in a second as well. Ofcom will also impose a daily penalty of £100 sterling starting from Tuesday for either 60 days or until 4chan provides it with the relevant information, whichever is sooner. So let's see, 60. Let's do a little bit of math. I hate fucking doing math. Okay, so that's £6,000. So that's a total, let's see, so £20,000 to USD. That is, oops, I missed a zero. So that's approximately a $26,000 fine. Let me move this for chat to see. So that's already a $26,000 fine. And then if you have an additional, 100 times 60 is 6,000. So the total amount that could be expected of them technically is 34.6K dollars, 34.6 thousand USD. Now, a lot of people have already said, lol, 4chan's not paying that, and I think that's obviously the case, unless there's some strange illegal reason that they have to. But 4chan obviously is going to let that 60 days run out. They don't want to comply. Ofcom will also impose... Oh, wait, that. Okay. So it's 60 days or until 4chan provides it with the relevant information, whichever is sooner. Suzanne Cater, Director of Enforcement at Ofcom, said, "Today sends a clear message that any service which flagrantly fails to engage with Ofcom and their duties under the Online Safety Act can expect to face robust enforcement action. We're also seeing some services take steps to introduce improved safety measures as a direct result of our enforcement action. Services who choose to restrict access rather than protect UK users remain on our watch list as we continue to monitor their availability to UK users." Technology Secretary Liz Kendall praised Ofcom's decision, saying in a statement, "The Online Safety Act is not just the law, it's a lifeline. Today we've seen it in action, holding platforms to account so we can protect people across the United Kingdom. This fine serves as a clear warning to those who fail to remove illegal content or protect children from harmful material. We fully back the regulator in taking action against all platforms that do not protect users from the darkest corners of the internet," she added. To catch you guys up, when you're seeing this, you're like, I have no idea why 4chan, what's going on with 4chan and lawyers and stuff like that. Let's read through this BBC post. 4chan will refuse to pay daily online safety fines, lawyer tells BBC. A lawyer representing the online message board 4chan says it won't pay a proposed fine by the UK's media regulator as it enforces the Online Safety Act. According to Preston Byrne, managing partner of law firm Byrne and Storm, Ofcom has provisionally decided to impose a £20,000 sterling fine with daily penalties thereafter for as long as the site fails to comply with its request. Ofcom's notices create no legal obligations in the United States, he told the BBC, adding he believed the regulator's investigation was part of a, quote, illegal campaign of harassment against U.S. tech firms. Ofcom has declined to comment while its investigation continues. 4chan has broken no laws in the United States. My client will not pay any penalty, Mr. Byrne said. Ofcom began investigating 4chan over whether it was complying with its obligations under the UK's Online Safety Act. Then in August, it said it had issued 4chan with a quote-unquote a provisional notice of contravention for failing to comply with 2 requests for information. Ofcom said its investigation would examine whether the message board was complying with the act, including requirements to protect its users from illegal content. 4chan has often been at the heart of online controversies in its 22 years, including misogynistic campaigns and conspiracy theories. Users are anonymous, which can often lead to extreme content being posted. First Amendment rights. In a statement posted on X, law firms Byrne and Storm and Coleman Law said 4chan was a U.S. company incorporated in the United States and therefore protected against the UK law. American businesses do not surrender their First Amendment rights because a foreign bureaucrat sends them an email, they wrote. Under settled principles of U.S. law, American courts will not enforce foreign penal fines or censorship codes. If necessary, we will seek appropriate relief in U.S. federal court to confirm these principles. They said authorities in the U.S. had been briefed on their response to Ofcom's investigation. The statement concludes by calling on the Trump administration to invoke all diplomatic and legal levers to protect American businesses from quote-unquote extraterritorial censorship mandates. Ofcom has previously said the OSA only requires services to take action to protect users based in the UK. UK backs down. Hi, Coop. Hope you're doing well. Some American politicians, particularly the Trump administration, its allies and officials, have pushed back against what they regard as overreach in the regulation of U.S. tech firms by the UK and EU. A perceived impact of the Online Safety Act on free speech has been a particular concern, but other laws have also been the source of disagreement. On the 19th of August, U.S. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard said the UK had withdrawn its controversial demand for a quote-unquote backdoor in an Apple data protection system, saying she worked with the president and vice president to get the UK to abandon its plan. 2 days later, U.S. Federal Trade Commission Chairman Andrew Ferguson warned big tech firms they could be violating U.S. law if they weakened privacy and data security requirements by complying with international laws such as the OSA. Foreign governments seeking to limit free expression or weaken data security in the United States might count on the fact that companies have an incentive to simplify their operations and legal compliance measures by applying uniform policies across jurisdictions, he said. If 4chan does successfully fight the fine in the U.S. courts, Ofcom might have other options. Enforcing against an offshore provider is tricky, Emma Drake, partner of online safety and privacy at law firm Bird & Bird, that's such a British name, Bird & Bird, told the BBC. Ofcom can instead ask a court to order other services to disrupt a provider's UK business, such as requiring a service's removal from search results or blocking of UK payments. If Ofcom doesn't think this will be enough to prevent significant harm, it can even ask the ISPs be ordered to block UK access. There we go. That's what I think is going to happen. I actually think at the end of this, what's basically going to happen is like this little court tussle, and 4chan doesn't pay the fine, Kiwi Farms doesn't pay the fine. UK eventually just tells ISPs, pull 4chan, pull Kiwi Farms access, and then people use VPNs to get around that, and then we'll see what happens with VPNs in the UK. Let me actually look. UK VPN. What's this? Is he? Raconteur says, security experts. Oh, I can't read this. No, I don't want to register. Fuck that. Fact check. VPNs are legal in the UK from Independent. There do not appear to be any government plans to change the law on VPNs in the UK. A widely shared online post has claimed that VPNs, virtual private networks, are legal in the UK. This is false. VPNs are not legal in the UK, and there does not appear to be any plans to make them illegal. So there you go. I do think, let's see. After new age verification rules came into force in the UK earlier this year, then Technology Secretary Peter Kyle addressed people using VPNs to get around the rules by routing their requests through servers in a different country. For everybody who's out there thinking about using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, verifying your age keeps a child safe, keeps children safe in our country, he said during a broadcast interview. So let's not just try and find a way around, just prove your age. Make the internet safer for children. This makes no sense. I'm sorry, a complete and utter idiot said this. That's really stupid. There's nothing about using or not using a VPN has anything to do with whether a child is safe. That's not how it works. The child is not affected by whether you use a VPN or not. That's actually one of the most stupid things I've ever heard a politician say, and I've seen politicians say a lot of stupid shit. Later in the interview, he said, "No, I'm not considering banning VPNs. That's not on the cards. I just want to urge caution in how people are using them." So there you go. I think at the end of all this, basically, I do think what's going to happen is the UK just tells ISPs, get rid of 4chan access, get rid of Kiwi Farms access. And I think people that want to access 4chan, Kiwi Farms in the UK are just going to hop on a VPN. I think that's it. How you doing, Coop? It is a fat mess. They keep saying safety, and they hope the more they say this is making people safe, this will become true. What is your data? Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. It's just all fucking lies. All the way down. Oh, if you use a VPN, it protects a child. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if I pee like standing up instead of sitting down, does that protect people too? Like, what the fuck? Like, there's no correlation. Has nothing to do with the other thing. TLDR sucked to shit and fucked the UK government. Not that it's not important to report on, but just seems like one more thing on 4chan's pile. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. That's what's going on in that neck of the woods with 4chan. We'll see how that lawsuit with Kiwi Farms and 4chan against Ofcom develops. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see how information comes about. And yeah, that's really it. See if there's any other additional news before we get into more positive stuff on the PayPros situation. On a site called Cyber News, how to watch porn without age verification in the UK 2025. That's so funny. That's so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny. That's fucking funny. Oh my god. That's just the future. That's just the future. Not much else to say there. That's it. Oh, this is interesting. Fake itch.io pages spread hidden malware to gamers. Let's read this one really quickly, because this is connected. It's on the itch.io front. Hey, Marissa X Death. I don't like 4chan. I don't like Ofcom. Yeah, it's real aliens versus predators type vibe. VPNs, very parental networks. They'll protect the children. Oh, that's what they meant. They meant the very parental networks. It's all connected. Oh my god, I have a big fucking coffee from McDonald's I got earlier that I didn't drink yet. It's huge, Chad. It's so fucking big and round and large. Can you test my game? Fake itch.io pages spread hidden malware to gamers. This is a little old. It's 5 days old from Malware Bytes Labs. So the Malware Bytes the service. You get a message from a Discord friend, or maybe an unknown indie developer reaches out to you. Can you test my game? They ask. The webpage they send over a link to looks legit. Screenshots, dev blurb, itch.io style layout, and the download button is right there, waiting to be clicked. The problem is these lookalike pages don't give you the real game. Instead, they drop a stealthy loader that quietly prepares your PC for follow-up malware. One lore we've seen impersonates the popular 2D platformer Archie Maloon. The real game can be found here. How they spread it. Social Engineering 101. The scam nails two things gamers trust. Friends and downloads. A trusted delivery channel. The layer often arrives in a DM from someone in your friends list. Familiar hosting and UI. The impersonators use Blogspot subdomains or cloud links and fake itch-style pages so the site looks legitimate. A convincing sign-in page. Some variants present a fake Discord sign-in page first to harvest credentials. What actually happens when you click? Here's what the user sees and what the stealth loader is really doing. Double-click the downloaded setupgame.exe and nothing obvious happens. No installer UI, no progress bar. That's deliberate. The attacker wants the install to happen without alarming you. The executable spawns PowerShell for a long encoded command. Attackers hide commands in encoded strings, so the malicious script isn't obvious at first glance. The command decodes another script and runs it directly in memory. That inner script hides the PowerShell window using a tiny .NET trick, so there's no black console popping up to make you suspicious. The code tries to relaunch itself with admin rights and compiles a small helper on the fly using csc.exe. It unpacks the node.js runtime and native modules into your user cache. The installer even runs task kill to force close major browsers. That stops you from immediately Googling what's happening and then stopping the install. In our sandbox run, it didn't phone home right away. Instead, it performed checks to confirm it's on a real machine, then waits for the right moment to download the main payload. What to watch out for. Unexpected DM with a download link. No installer UI, but strange behavior after running. Unexpected folders appear. And PowerShell showing. What to do if you already ran it. Act quickly and use a different clean device for the first steps. From another device, change your passwords, enable 2FA. Log out all sessions and revoke authorized apps tokens. Disconnect the infected PC and run a full malware byte scan. Remove obvious new files, folders. Tell your friends not to click links from your account and report the pages to the hosts in your platform. If you see signs of deeper compromise, back up essentials and do a clean reinstall or get professional help. I think it's really important for folks to note here that I've seen this scam go around also of Steam for the longest time. Like, oh, test this game on Steam, test this game on Steam. Scammers are getting more and more clever at social engineering. They're getting better at like actually getting people to click links. And it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary for sure. It's a bit crazy. It's a bit crazy. Just got home and found a supplier for meds. What do we miss? We talked a little bit about the 4chan fine. The big thing was we talked about the UK, the situation where a UK adult game developer cannot find a bank to be like a safe place for them to store the equivalent of 6 figures USD. And a bunch of UK banks are just rejecting them outright. And then we're doing a little bit of side news stories before we go into another big, more positive story. Here's one from Axios. Porn sites still open in Ohio despite age verification law. I notice it says it tries to run as admin when admin password block that. I'm actually not sure, Russ. That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, fake itch.io pages and fake Steam pages are very common these days. Very, very common these days. Whoops. Be careful. If something seems a little sussy, it is. I remember a previous partner of mine ended up getting hit by a similar scam with this one. I see a lot of VTubers get hit by scams. I usually it's the like, oh, I got locked out of my account, check this out, and then bam, you get hit. Porn sites still open in Ohio despite age verification law. From Axios Columbus. Many porn sites are still unrestricted in Ohio despite a new law in effect limiting their access to only adults. Why it matters. Laws are only effective if enforced, and so far things aren't looking good. The big picture. About half of states have similar laws in place, which the Supreme Court upheld in June. The UK enacted a law in July. But many users work around the restrictions by hacking using VPNs, which hide a device's location, or by just switching to websites that aren't restricting access. Hacking? What is this? Ethical hackers. What is this? Did they actually hack it? Wait, okay. Did they hack it, or did they just show like the wrong faces? Like what is this? Okay. Hold on. I'm curious now. Like what do they mean by hacking? Cuz I just don't trust sites. I don't trust a lot of journalists anymore. Toughen rules came into force. That means companies hosting adult content online must block under 18s. Good AI tools that use pictures to estimate someone's age. Banker ID checks, but hours later, two ethical hackers working with the cyber training group, the Hacking Games, demonstrated just how simple it is to get around the measures designed to protect young people on the internet using widely available technology. Chris Kubeka and Paula Popovici quickly accessed numerous pornography sites without ever verifying their ages. The devices were running standard software, and the tricks they used were simple. This, Ms. Kubeka said, showed these systems will not be effective at stopping under 18s from accessing explicit content online. The simplicity was confirmed by viewers. Let's see. Okay, wait. Let's watch this. Let's watch this.
As of today, the UK's internet has changed. There are strict new rules in place designed to put children's safety online at the heart of our scrolling. Ofcom's children's codes are now being enforced, and they'll change how adults can go online too.
It is a broad suite of protections. It does mean that children will not any longer be able to access suicide, self-harm, eating disorder content, as well as pornography. It means that children shouldn't be served violent content in their feeds, or misogyny, or dangerous stunts and challenges, or other kinds of harmful content, which we know are really ubiquitous part of kids' experiences online at the moment. So this does mark a big change in children.
Online is the main priority. Pornography shouldn't be available without proper age verification, and social media algorithms shouldn't be pushing harmful content to children. So what's actually changed, and will it work?
I'm going to try and get into the over 18 number.
Yoti is one of the age verification systems many companies are now using to stop young people accessing inappropriate content. It uses AI to estimate users' ages and is precise enough that it can't even be tricked using masks or selfies.
If you look under a certain age, e.g. 25, going into a shop for alcohol...
They won't be able to access misogyny. I'm sure the internet invented misogyny. Hey, Andrea, girl, good to have you. You can't access misogyny unless you turn the VPN on. Then it's all out there, baby. Easy4chan.org, So.
Site, maybe it's 21. Then you have to do, an age check. So it's very much the same with computer age estimation.
The idea behind these new age checks and algorithm changes is to stop teenagers stumbling across harmful content. At a youth club in Warrington, teenagers told us that was all
right, let's get to the hackers.
If right now, restriction. I think it's a good idea.
Since the creation of the internet, but for families who have already lost children because of online harm, the regulations don't go far enough.
Where's the hacking?
Just want 16 rules are just.
Okay, but like, how do they hack? How do they do the hacking? Where's the hacking? Oh, here we go. I'm so dumb. It was here all along.
you could be presented with a screen like this, a proper age verification check. And if you've got an under 18s account on social media,
the safe line
and those on the internet.
Children online.
That's actually really hard.
In practice, there are a range of technologies that companies can use.
Okay, what I want to know though, here's the thing. This is why I'm doing this deep dive. I want to see if their use of the word quote unquote hacking is just showing like a Death Stranding character's face to the AI age verification system, and then Axios described that as hacking because they're too lazy to read the headline. Like, oh shit, I nearly spilled my coffee. That's what I'm trying to figure out here. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out if this is a lazy journalism or not. Because I've seen really lazy journalism these days.
Okay, so examples are things like facial age estimation, which we're all very used to using when we open our phones, for example. Other examples are things like mobile network operator checks or checks based on email or open banking. Well, we enforce fine to do that.
Being used in the users. Let's see if we can trick it.
Okay, here we go.
So others are using bank details or government IDs. So we are here at Yoti. I'm with Matt. He's going to show me exactly how this tech works and give us a bit of a demonstration and also see if we can trick it. Let's see whether it thinks I am under 18.
Literally saw someone use the Yakuza 6 Kiryu model get around the age verification.
More adult. Style games.
Yeah, of course, which is exactly what this is for.
Alcohol and information access are not the same. They keep making the same bad faith comparison. Fuck off. LGBTQIA teens can't get info now, and they are okay with it because they generally don't care as long as the composture works. Yeah.
Image, we break it down into pixels.
Okay, I don't really care how they do the demon magic. I just want to see how it's faked.
How it names that?
Costs £700.
Okay, so this is like you really, really want to watch something you're supposed to watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get into the over 18 lobby. What the hell? I don't understand how it names.
My face isn't real. Where's the hackers? Where's the hackers?
Code Day, as we've been
doing
it between ourselves, and I'm here with two ethical hackers.
Ah, there we go.
We're going to see just how quickly these two.
They're dressed nice. You expect them to wear hoodies?
Just got around it.
Oh, she just got around
Instantly.
Oh.
What happens when you try to get on one of the main websites that's now got this age verification in place?
It did ask me for an age verification, so I tried to kind of bypass it.
Chris, you've got a setup here that is running some software that is easily accessible and it's well known. And tell me what happened when you tried to get on exactly the same URL as this.
So when I went to get on, I was taken straight into pornographic stories, and I had a similar result on multiple websites. I was able to get straight into the website, which I won't show for camera purposes, but I had no age verification at all. And the difference was just in how you access the internet a bit differently, that interface.
One of the criticisms I keep on hearing about these new age verification systems is that they're just going to push young people to deeper, darker parts of the internet. Marcus Johnston is a lawyer who specialises in sexual crime.
9 school
to the dark
legal sites.
How many users are on the dark web?
Well,
wait. So, how did she do it though? Otherwise, it's just the equivalent of someone going like, I'm in, I got locked in. I just broke it, guys. I just hacked it. Guys. I totally just hacked it.
You can try to estimate them.
It's important for them to explain what they did.
But what we're seeing already is increases from the United Kingdom going over.
Okay, but if they don't tell you what the weakness is in the technology, then parents also don't know, right? Like, realistically speaking here, like, also it's like, then parents don't even know, like, whether their kids can easily bypass this stuff. Like, on some level, like, also there needs to be, like, clarification about what specifically is the way this stuff's getting bypassed, because you don't have to show how it's done, just explain it, because otherwise, you know, like, how can I verify what they're saying is true? How can other people know what the weaknesses of this technology is?
To the dark web.
In your kind of experiences as an ethical hacker, do you think 10,000 people should be coding years old quick to be that you should rules change?
Come the Yeah, I'm not gonna show it. She hacked in, chat. That's so... I just want to know if, like, she hacked in by, like, using a VPN, or, like, she hacked in by, like, finding a way to display, like, a fake camera, or she hacked... Like, how'd she hack in? How'd she hack in, chat? How'd she hack in? Because, like, if I saw that Sky News article, what I might say is many users working around the restrictions by, like subverting the system, such as using VPNs, or by just switching to websites that aren't restricting access. Because, like, I want to know, like, what this means, like, how they're actually hacking it, you know? The dark web mention. Not only do they discuss worries about this security, they just keep saying we need to do this. This is not journalism, it's just propaganda, as there's no depth or coverage on why this is okay and why it's safe. Yeah, that's Sky News for you too, though. Sky News is very much like that kind of place. Trust me, bro. She Karen. She trustworthy. Sound like VPN from the little amount of words. That's kind of the impression I got too. I just checked out Hypostec and honestly seems kind of more like a blog. Yeah. There are a lot of them, as an Axios review found by the numbers of the top 58. Okay, so anyway, going back, this is about porn sites still open in Ohio despite age verification law. So about half of states have similar laws in place, which the Supreme Court upheld in June. The UK enacted a law in July, but many users work around the restrictions by hacking using VPNs, which hide a device's location, or by just switching to websites that aren't restricting access. There are a lot of them, an Axios review found. By the numbers of the top 58 active porn sites listed on a web tracker as of Monday, only 2 asked Ohioans for age verification of a government-issued ID or other records, which the law mandates for sites of quote-unquote obscene material. 11 more were blocked entirely, 8 just required a click of a button to access, and 1 required confirming a payment method. The rest, about 62%, were wide open to anybody. Stunning stats. 2 years after implementing its age verification law, Virginia's numbers were about the same as Ohio's. The intrigue. Popular site Pornhub has blocked itself in the states with laws instead of complying, but is staying online in Ohio due to an apparent legal loophole. Pornhub's parent company says it's an interactive computer service, an exception to Ohio law that protects platforms like search engines and social media, but could unintentionally allow some porn sites to. Oh, Reason covered this. Oh, okay. As of yesterday, Pornhub only required users to click a button saying they're 18 or older. Wait, okay. Of course it's Elizabeth Nolan Brown. She's so based. Whoops! Ohio accidentally excludes most major porn platforms from anti-porn law. Ohio lawmakers set out to block minors from viewing online porn. They messed up. Remember when people used to say epic fail? I'm sorry, but there's no other way to describe Ohio's new age verification law, which took effect on September 30th. A variation on a mandate that's been sweeping U.S. state houses, this law requires online platforms offering material harmful to juveniles, by which authorities mean porn, to check photo IDs or use transactional data, mortgages, education, employment records, to verify that all visitors are adults. But lawmakers have written the law in such a way that excludes most major porn publishing platforms. This is why you don't rush age verification bills into an omnibus, commented the Free Speech Coalition's Mike Stable on Blue Sky. I love Mike. Ohio Republican lawmakers introduced a standalone age verification bill back in February, but it languished in a House committee. Let's read down a little bit. The version that wound up passing this year did so as part of the state's omnibus budget legislation. This massive measure, more than 3,000 pages, includes a provision that any organization that disseminates, provides, exhibits, or presents any material performances obscene or harmful to juveniles on the internet must verify that anyone attempting to view that material is at least 18 years old. The bill also states that such organization must utilize a geofence system maintained and monitored by a licensed location-based technology provider to dynamically monitor the geolocation of persons. That's fucking insane. Existing Ohio law defines material harmful to juveniles as any material performance describing or representing nudity, sexual conduct, sexual excitement, or sadomasochistic abuse that appeals to the prurient interest of juveniles in sex, is patently offensive to prevailing standards in the adult community as a whole with respect to what is suitable for juveniles, and lacks serious literary, artistic, political, and scientific value for juveniles. So online distributors of material harmful to juveniles that don't comply with the age check requirement could face civil actions. Supporters of the law portrayed it as a way to stop young Ohioans from being able to access porn entirely, but the biggest purveyors of online porn, including Pornhub and similar platforms, which allow users to upload as well as view content, seem to be exempt from the law. Among the organizations exempted from age verification requirements are providers of an interactive community computer service, which is defined by Ohio lawmakers as having the same meaning as it does under federal law. The federal law that defines interactive computer service, Section 230 of the CDA, says it means any information service, system, or access software provider that provides or enables computer access by multiple people to a computer server, including specifically a server system provides access to units such as some software service delivery. I'm sorry, they basically said we're going to exempt most of the things that Section 230 covers. That's so dumb. How do you do that? How do you fuck up your censorious legislation so bad? You're like, oh, we're going to censor the porn, but really quickly, if you're an interactive computer service as defined under Section 230, you're not impacted by this law, which is like fucking nuts. I'm sorry, literally room temperature IQ in the with Republican lawmakers right now. It's fucking insane. Oh my God. And basically means any platform where third parties can create accounts can generate content from social media sites to dating apps, message boards, classified ads, search engine comment sections, and much more. Platforms like Pornhub unambiguously fall within this category. In fact, Pornhub is not blocking Ohio users as it has in most other states with age verification laws for online porn because its parent company ALO does not believe the law applies to it. As a provider of an interactive computer service as defined under Section 230 of the CDA, it is our understanding we are not subject to obligations under Section 21349.10 of the Ohio Revised Code regarding mandated age verification for the interactive computer services we provide, such as Pornhub. That's great. I love that, chat. That's great. That's great. That's incredible. Wow. Some the brightest minds in the room on this one, chat. So we are going to create a bill. We're going to create a law that bans porn unless it's protected under Section 230. Great. Amazing. So that means like my Futanari GeoCities website needs age verification, but Pornhub doesn't. That's great. That's great. That's amazing, chat. That's amazing. One of the law's biggest proponents, a Republican, Josh Williams, has talked about how not ensnare social media platforms even though they may contain porn. So perhaps the exclusion of interactive computer services was intended for the purpose, but most major web porn access points, including OnlyFans and webcamming platforms, also fall under the definition of interactive computer services. Perhaps Ohio lawmakers will amend the exceptions, although that may prove a bit difficult to do on its own, since the state was having trouble moving forward with a standalone age verification law. Perhaps the Ohio AG will be foolish enough to challenge the idea that Pornhub is an interactive computer service. That's great. Oh my God. Beautiful. That's beautiful. I think honestly what happened there, chat, is I think truly these people don't know how like Pornhub or OnlyFans or any of those sites actually work. So I think that's why it happened the way it did, right? Like I think that's why it happened the way it did. I think basically like the TLDR is that like I think the TLDR is that like these Republican lawmakers haven't processed that like OnlyFans is a social media website. Pornhub is a social media website. They're not just places where like, you know, like an adult studio highlights its wares. Or so. I think like these people are so out of touch in some ways that they don't actually process like what means what. So they fucked it up really hard. It's so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny. That's incredible. That's great. I'm so happy, chat. I really love when stupid people suffer. That's great. I love when people are dumb. I love that. I love that. I love when people are dumb. Let's see. Checking if there's any other cool based epic news. And then we'll cover some nicer news to kind of cap things off. Ah, that's crazy, chat. That's crazy, chat. Chat, is this real? Chat, is this real? Chat, is this real? Man. Okay, we'll read this one because it's just goofy. The candidate caught in a Nazi porn scandal is today's GOP personified. Meet John Reed, the Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor in Virginia. There's a lot to learn. With his normcore style and measured talk radio voice, John Reed, the Republican candidate for Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, is no internet-pickled groiper. I hate that groiper is now a word that more people know what that means. He's a stock MAGA uncle, smarmy and bluff, but for 6 months now, he's been given lech. He's been given gets light. Back in May, research from an anti-Reed faction, the state of GOP, alleged that he was behind a Tumblr account, JR2, which posted penis pics. I'm not going to open that on stream. Reed's Instagram account has the same handle. At the time, Reed didn't... Wait, I'm sorry, what? What? I'm sorry, what? Homie's doing it in public. Like, that's like if like I ran for office under AC Valance, right? Like, that would be crazy. Oh, you could elect your first like state senator in a war, chat. Maybe I'd have more controversy than this guy. At the time, Reed denied he was responsible for the account, claiming he was the victim of a smear campaign for being openly gay. He stayed on the ticket over the objections of his own party, including Governor Glenn Youngkin. But you can't keep this sordid story down. Last week, with early voting well underway in the November 4th election, American Journal News revealed that on the same porny Tumblr blog, JR2 didn't just serve up lootery, he boosted a user who brandished swastikas. See, Republican candidate Virginia caught in Nazi porn scandal. Back in 2015, JR2 also shared an image of a male college student posted by a user who self-described with a racial slur and sought the company of superior white men. Turns out Reed's alleged Tumblr clique was devoted to the eroticization of slavery and overt Nazi fascism. Was this... There was the other guy. Wait, is this the same guy? Wait. Okay. So there's Mark Robinson, who had like the Nazi porn connection, and now there's a second additional. Wait. Hold on. So North Carolina gubernatorial candidate Mark Robinson had the weird thing happen, and now Virginia's lieutenant governor candidate, right? Do I have that correct? Yeah. So fucking. They don't know. They make they really serve them up in the GOP. Good to have the lurk, by the way. But the lurk, by the way, St. Vitas. That's crazy. Virginia was like, hold on one second, chat. Like, Virginia was like, hold my beer really quickly. We could do this too. That was gold, by the way. Day of coffee. Holy shit. Oh my god. Wait, do they mean all BDSM when they say sadomasochistic abuse? Yes, that's what all that stuff means. By the way, just going back to the prior article where they talk about obscenity, that's what all sadomasochistic abuse, it's always going to mean BDSM. Like, you know, BDSM where someone's getting hit. Now we find I just add an ass box that can be defined as interactive. I actually have to be careful with my website because if I, like most of these laws, like some of the laws, the age verification laws, like only apply.
A Nazi porn liking Republican has hit the government of an East Coast state.
If I had a nickel for every single time a Nazi porn liking Republican politician hit the East Coast, I'd have 2 nickels. And it's completely unsurprising that it happened twice. Wait, 1 sec. I dropped my fucking my button. There's like little screw caps for my chair, and I dropped on them. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Gonna have a dumb image for you in a few minutes. I'm so fucking excited, dude. That's so fucking base and epic, and fucking like red pilled of you or whatever the fuck. Yeah, no, it's crazy, chat. We really do be out here. We really do be out here. We really do be out here. Okay. Anyway. So there was the North Carolina guy. Now we have this guy. Let's see. Back in 2015, Jared Duh also shared an image of a male college student posted by a user who self-described as a racial slur and sought the company of superior white men. Turns out Reed's alleged Tumblr clique was devoted to the eroticization of slavery and over Nazi fetishism. No one's ever seen a candidate like me in Virginia, and quite frankly, most places across the country, Reed boasted not long ago to a Charlottesville media outlet. He'd be right, except for those keeping count at home. Reed is the second Republican to be engulfed in a Nazi porn scandal in just over a year. That's so Reagan conservative. This did not warn anyone. That's great. Oh my god. That's so fucking funny, Homer. Post that in Discord, please. And then tag Lisa. Oh, that's so good. So that's all deeply bleak, but what's weirdest about Reed is not his weirdness, it's how MAGA typical his whole career is. Billing himself as an American patriot, Reagan conservative, Virginia gentleman, Reed has a personal story that doubles as a spiritual journey of 4 decades of GOP putrefaction. Reed has zeligged his way through just about every stage in the GOP's metamorphosis from anti-fascist family value conservatism to its current incarnation as the ProFA as opposed to Antifa party of pervs. 4 decades ago, Reed started strong. He graduated from Tony St. Christopher's Prep School in Richmond, and then Baylor, the Christian university that later brought in Ken Starr as president, only to fire him for licensing campus sexual assault. In 1993, Reed moved to Los Angeles to intern for former President Ronald Reagan. Clearly, it all went downhill then. What telegenic Reagan conservative in the 1990s didn't want to be on TV. Reed then spent a decade as a reporter and then anchor for a morning show at the ABC affiliate in Richmond. Years later, he built on this success by hosting a conservative radio show on WRVA. Trump called in to his radio show last February, and Reed buttered him up. In the 2000s, Reed flacked for then-Senator George Allen during Allen's infamous racist interludes. A longtime friend to the Sons of the Confederacy, Allen, as Virginia governor, declared April Confederacy Month. It's like declaring April like Darth Vader's month. That's crazy. All along, Reed has had a soft spot for Richmond's racist monuments. We must not let angry mobs and corrupt, lawless Democrats destroy and erase our history and our public artwork, monuments, memorials, and tombs, he posted to Facebook in July. And the Virginia Flaggers have never forgotten Reed's kindness to their movement. Last month, the Flaggers, a neo-Confederate group known for espousing lost cause ideology and installing massive Confederate battle flags over highways, posted to Facebook, John Reed for Lieutenant Governor of Virginia is the only candidate for statewide office who is not afraid to speak out and speak up about the war on our history and heritage. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Reed came out as gay in the 1990s, has been with his boyfriend Alonzo Mabel for 8 years. He opposes enshrining gay marriage in Virginia's constitution. He regularly orates on predatory trans women, the physical mutilation of children, and the rest of the mega herbal legends. Oh, man. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing this. This is crazy. Meanwhile, his whole ticket is troubled. At the top, gubernatorial candidate, Winsome Earl Sears. That is a crazy-ass name. That is a crazy-ass name. They don't make names like that anymore. Is polling well behind her Democratic rival, Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger. Youngkin, for his part, is whipping up Made for Fox outrage about Jay Jones, the Democratic candidate for Virginia Attorney General, who not long ago shared high-key disturbing fantasies about committing political violence. And on Tuesday, the Republican Governor Association dropped another... I'm sorry, what the fuck is going on in Virginia, bro? What's going on? We have the gay Republican MAGA candidate who's calling trans women predators, but is on like hotsy totsy Nazi Tumblr blog, like posting swastikas. calling like Jay Jones, like something about like high key. What's going on, dude? Someone call Virginia and double check on them. There's not okay. So it's going to be another nutty month in Virginia, but have no fear for John Reed. If he wins, he wins. But if he leaves Richmond for D.C. in some Trumpy capacity, he might also get a hero's welcome there. The per-fascist solidarity in Trump's Washington has come to seem like the Me Too movement in reverse, letting newcomers get to burst onto the scene at Butterworth's Me Too guys into the loving arms of the sex scandal-plagued elite. Former Florida Rep. Matt Gaetz, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr., Supreme Court Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Clarence Thomas, and of course, Mr. Trump himself. That is crazy. Hey, Costello, good to have you. Virginia is wild, and they someone needs to check on them. Something's not right. We need a wellness check, like stat. We need a wellness check. Stat. Yeah, yes, classic gentleman behavior, Nazi porn. I just did size 4 channel. Lol. Also, damn, GOP being her hypocritical. Who knew? GOP is wild still. Actually, did you see MTG is like talking shit about Trump now? I did. She's like on her own kind of MAGA journey. Yeah, she's on her own little MAGA journey. Like she's going into uncharted waters. Oh Lord. Watching porn at work. It's apparently the most popular time for it. Oh, this is like 2 years old. This is like not worth it right now. Oh my God. What is... someone check on my Western civilization. I don't think it's doing so hot. How are you doing, Costello? Are you having a good day? Mm-hmm. It's so good to see you, sweetie. It's so good to see you. Let's see. I'm reading if there's any other news reports before we get into the nicer stuff. Let's see. Blue Sky enforces age checks in Ohio under new law. Many adult sites don't comply. That's fascinating. Okay, well, let's read through this. Okay. While the social media platform Blue Sky has enacted age verification measures in Ohio in response to the new state law that aims to protect children from obscene content, a variety of pornography websites have not. A new Ohio law went into effect on September 30th, requiring pornography websites and any online platform that hosts a quote-unquote significant amount of content that is quote-unquote obscene or harmful to juveniles to verify their visitors are adults. The statute mandates such websites confirm users' ages by obtaining a copy of their government-issued photo ID or other age-verifying documents, such as proof of mortgage or employment. Two things that most adults do not have anymore. To ensure Ohio users are verified, platforms are responsible for using technology to monitor the location of their visitors. Let's see. On Wednesday, Ohio AG Dave Yost announced his office reviewed 20 top pornography websites. Damn, I wish I was... Guys, I really want the job working for the Ohio Attorney General where I have to look at the top 20 pornography websites, one each day for 8 hours a day. That would be dude, putting in my time in the office. I'll tell you what, that sounds like hard work, hard, turgid, stiff work. Found that only one is complying with the statute. The office in Yost is sending letters to the non-compliant sites warning them of lawsuits. This is the same law, chat. This is the same law that, like, basically cucked itself. This is so funny. You took a big nap today? I'm so proud of you, Costello. I technically send Anna porn while at work. I look at porn at work. My work is porn, actually. Dude, having 35K and can't withdraw because bank, I'd go insane. So the UK situation, that is 120 USD, 120K USD. That it's so bad. It's so bad. Okay, but wait, this is crazy. Okay, so obviously, like, Elizabeth Nolan Brown, also really based journalist, was sitting there basically saying, like, it would be crazy if Ohio went after Pornhub or anyone else. And the Ohio AG is like, we are going after the big dogs. We're sending the letters to the non-compliant sites, warning them of lawsuits if they fail to enact age verification measures within 45 days. The law literally has a carve out for like pretty much every major porn site. It is literally, the inmates are not running the asylum. The inmates have built the asylum. This is insane. This is actually crazy. We are living in fucking clown world. Like, not even, like, it's not even we're living in clown world. Like, the clown world, like, clowns are coming in. They're like, how are you doing? Like, are you having a good day? Is the honking of my nose making you happy? Honk, honk. Like, it's just insane. It's like, literally, what the fuck? This is, like, so fucking stupid. Ow. This is nuts. This is fucking nuts. This is fucking nuts. There's literally carve-outs for like basic. I know. Oh, there's like carve-outs for literally all major pornographic websites. This is fucking insane. So you can't be like Pornhub, which we made a carve-out for. We're gonna sue you. Like, Pornhub's literally gonna say like, okay, go for it. I would love the free money, and you. Excuse me, pay for the courts, like for the court payment shit. Hard work, the jokes write themselves. I recognize that Ari giggle emote. Imagine being the guy who has to enforce the porn ban and having to watch it for the job. Crazy. It's Shimonetta is prophetic. It's literally like Anna, just like Anna sitting there and like becoming like crazy fucking lewd, even though she's in charge of like the anti-lewd squad. Like, it's just Shimonetta was like prophetic. It was Shimonetta was nonfiction, bro. Like, Shimonetta predicted it all. The AG has no idea that the law is a hole so big that one can drive a Mack truck through it. Actually true. ISP, no, you fool. The ICP is in charge now. The ICUP's in charge now. ICUP's in charge. ICUP. They just want to pretend to look like they're working. Is this the Shimonetta sequel? It is the westernized American version. I'm putting on my Silksong clown costume. Life's no longer makes sense. Literally, like, so many people on the right will be like, oh, clown world, oh, clown world, oh, clown world. But this is clown world. Like, this is actually fucking stupid. This is like insane. Like, it's so dumb. Like, it's literally dumb. How dare, like, literally idiocracy shit. How dare you, like, you know, not follow the law when we made a carve out for you? We're gonna sue you. The clowns are running the asylum with the inmates or something. I don't fucking know, dude. This is insane. This is so fucking stupid. This duly enacted law protects young impressionable children.
Porn? But hold the porn. Hey Vinny, get me a porn ban with nothing. Nothing fine?
Porn ban over here. This duly enacted law protects young, impressionable children from the harms of adult-only material found online. U.S. said in a news release, it's time for these companies to explain what they think they're above the law. They are above the law. The law doesn't affect them here. You're so stupid. This is so funny, though. Meanwhile, Blue Sky, a competitor to X and Threads, announced on September 28th that it would implement age verification measures in Ohio in light of the law. While Blue Sky is not strictly a pornography platform, it does allow adult content. I'm sure. I think the reason they're doing this is because they just can't afford to go through any kind of lawsuit. I think they just are trying to be very careful. They can't like just kind of like brute force their way through it like Pornhub can. But this is so fucking funny, chat. Like, Blue Sky is literally like, even in the intent of the Ohio like bill, like, Blue Sky is definitely something that intentionally would be exempt, essentially, because of the emphasis on like interactive computer services. This is Blue Sky being like, no, it's okay. It's like the equivalent of like being told like, you don't have to jump into the volcano. It's actually fine. Like, we just got an order saying you're exempt from jumping in the volcano, and Blue Sky is like, I'm just gonna jump in the volcano. I think it would be good if I did, though, because that was originally what I was told I was gonna do, and someone might yell at me if I don't jump into the volcano. So I'm gonna jump into the volcano. It's over compliance, actually, is what it is. When is Juggalo Anna gonna happen? Then now I'll get a fucking clown VRM. None porn ban, left beef. Literally, none porn ban. I left the beef. Common Blue Sky L these days. So true. Blue Sky's You can really tell, like, Blue Sky is just run by people who are, like, run by a small team that's way overwhelmed. If Blue Sky bans porn sites, death within a week, tops. Yeah, agreed. Everyone will actually go back to X or switch to Discord. That was a good burp. Supreme Court case could upend local Ohio bans on anti-LGBTQ conversion therapy. Blue Sky's enabled age verification software called Kids Web Services. It sounds like the kind of thing like you'd find in like an analog horror game. Like, oh, I'm going to the Kids Web Services URL and there's like a picture of a scary face bleeding from its eyes, but we're still in the analog horror experience and I'm using my Windows 98. It just like seems this is giving like it's gonna curse my computer and be like a commentary on nostalgic childhood. What if the things you used when you were a kid were haunted? Which allows users to choose from multiple methods, including scanning an ID or payment card. The social media site uses the software in other states of similar laws, such as South Dakota and Wyoming. In this rapidly evolving regulatory environment, our goal is to respect the law while balancing safety, free expression, and user privacy to serve the greater good of our community. The company wrote in a blog addressing its age verification measures. Responding to new laws and regulations will require pragmatism and flexibility. Before the laws took effect, the Free Speech Coalition, a nonprofit trade association for the adult entertainment industry, warned residents that the measure could expand its reach to social media. Director of Public Policy Mike Stable previously told NBC4 Ohio's law is particularly vague compared with other states and therefore may result in a variety of platforms choosing to enact age verification measures to prevent legal issues. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expect. It affects not just porn sites, but any site that might have material that is defined as harmful to juveniles, Stable said before the law's implementation. Under the law, I think that sites like X and Reddit and Blue Sky may have to begin age verifying. As we've seen other places, services like Spotify may decide to do it as well to avoid potentially triggering the law. Okay. Reddit and X also allow pornography on their platforms, but neither has implemented age verification measures. NBC4 reached out to both to ask if they plan to begin verifying users' ages. Wait, hold on a second. Thank you, Sinvinas, for the Prime sub. 60 billion to... Yeah, it's the same one that we were talking about earlier. That's just... Clown World. This is just goofy. Thanks again for the Prime sub, Sin Venus. I appreciate you. 69, 29, 69. That's based. I burp a lot. Wow. At the very least, 4Kids created stuff. They helped get the 03 Ninja Turtles reboot made. That's so true. Who's up with their 4Kids? 4Kids animation also heavily censored. Most anime imported from Japan as to appease Christian fundies. That's also true. That's also true. Okay. Let's see if there's any other major news to talk about. And then we'll read the more positive news story that I want to talk about. I definitely... see. I don't think there's really anything else that's super big. There's like all this smaller stuff happening. But I think in the terms of the more depressing news, I think we kind of got it all covered right now. There's some stuff happening with digital ID. Let's see. Chat control continues to be a thing. But I'm not going to talk as much about that. We talked about HB 302 earlier. But let's talk about something more positive, chat. Which is, I really like Automaton's another more independent site that's been doing some really good coverage around online censorship, and this is a really, really cool thing that they covered. Another major Japanese adult comic platform opts for diversifying local payment options amidst Visa and MasterCard censorship. Let's talk about how precious Anna is. Aw, stop. You're going to make me blush. You're gonna make me blush. And I'm a maid. I'm not supposed to blush. I'm supposed to serve. I'm just supposed to be stoic. I'm supposed to be stoic. I'm supposed to be stoic, chat. I'm not supposed to do anything. I'm just supposed to do what I'm told. I'm very precious. Maids can blush and serve, I think. Maybe in my ASMR. Send me what? All right. Maids contain multitudes and burps, apparently. By the way, if you like the content, don't forget to hit that follow button. Don't forget to hit that sub. And since I haven't said in a little bit, if you've been hanging out and you haven't done so yet, you've just been listening in the background, don't forget to hit that exclamation point lurk or lurk redeem to get a little engagement up, because God knows Twitch fucking hates streamers right now. Blush while you welcome us home. Castel, you're so sweet. Oh, thank you, Rena, for the lurk. I appreciate that. I have 65 of you lurking on my body. That's crazy. It's gonna be like sand soon, where it's like it's been 2 weeks since I streamed, and like I find some of you still in my body, and I'm like, how did that happen? I went to the stream where everyone lurked all over my giant body weeks ago, but I'm still finding tinies all over my body. What the what the chat? After having Visa and MasterCard it's pretty impressive if you can make a maid blush. I think of something worse. You think of hellhole, don't you? We're like glitter. That's so true. You're literally glitter. You're literally glitter, Castel. You're literally glitter. After having Visa and MasterCard transactions abruptly suspended on the platform, Japanese adult doujinshi platform Tora no Ana introduced a local alternative. Toro no Ana, a major physical and online retailer of independently published comics, doujinshi, announced on October 8th that it has introduced a new local payment method for its doujin mail order service. Payments via Visa and MasterCard were abruptly suspended for the service in August last year and have been unavailable ever since. At the time, Tora no Ana did not disclose the exact reason for cutting ties with international credit card brands, but given the platform's reputation for hosting adult content, particularly doujinshi targeted towards women, it is likely they face the same kind of pressure platforms like Steam and itch.io have been dealing with as of recent. But as of October 8th, Tora no Ana newly supports transactions via Alipay, a local Japanese smartphone payment service with around 38.4 million users. This comes only a few days after DL Site, another famous doujinshi platform that had Visa and MasterCard transactions suspended, announced its own alternative. While DL Site's new payment system is partly in-house, it uses account IDs issued by the platform's parent company Vivion, but an external mobile bank. Tora no Ana's alternative is simply an existing service provided by a telecom company. However, it still circumvents the role of credit card companies and other payment processors between the user and the platform. On the other hand, given the Alipay requires a Japanese phone number, the service will likely not be usable for purchases on Tora no Ana outside of Japan. According to the official homepage, alternatives currently available are JCB, American Express, and Diners Club credit cards. Visa and MasterCard transactions are not likely to come back, according to the platform's FAQ. Speaking on the issue of payment processor censorship of adult media, Japanese politician and former assemblyman Zenko Kurashita recently commented that the most viable solution will be the diversification of payment methods, and whether spontaneously or deliberately, this seems to be the direction Japanese platforms are heading towards. Let's actually get this Google translated from Tora no Ana and see. You can take 100 baths and you'll still find us in your body. That's so lewd. That's so lewd. That's so lewd, chat. That's so lewd, chat. That's so lewd. To customers who use Visa or MasterCard, this is a translation of Tora no Ana's FAQ. Tora no Ana mail order will no longer accept payments with Visa and MasterCard brand credit cards as of noon on August 13th, 2024. We received a notice of suspension from our acquirer on the morning of August 9th, and we acknowledge this. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused our customers. Regarding a response after August 13th, 2024, we would like to provide you with information in a Q&A format based on the trends and questions we have received as shown before. Let me see. Couldn't you have notified us earlier? We received notification of the suspension measures on the morning of August 9th, Japan time. After checking our internal follow-up system, we completed the notification by 7 p.m. that same day. We have been preparing for this situation for some time, but we apologize for the timing, which came just before comic market, and for the concern and confusion it has caused our customers and circles. Will the suspended credit card brands be reinstated? At this stage, we are not in a position to say anything. We will continue to devote all our efforts to developing payment methods that impose as little burden on customers as possible, such as allowing for partial use of other payment methods or Toracoin payments. So there you go. Yeah. In our negotiations, we have not received any information that will ensure Visa/Master payments will be accepted again. What about Mistress payments? See, if banks accepted my card service, Mistress card, it's totally different. Under Mistress card, it's not like MasterCard where like there's the obscenity clauses and they're really upset and nervous about adult content. Mistress card, which should be accepted of banks all over the world, but is not yet. It's not accepted of any bank. Mistress card can be used only to purchase adult content. And in fact, the more obscene your hentai is, the better. That is what Mistress card is for. You can get frequent gooner points with your Mistress card in order to get additional gooning material. We'll have you on the edge of your seat with Mistress card. For some things, gooning can't get you access to. For everything else, there's Mistress card. Mistress card, that's perfect. Make it happen. Mistress card. Me still learning the language right now. Do they mean 2025? So this is from 2020. This is from 2024. I was reading, so August 2024 is when Torno Ano originally received its break off with MasterCard and Visa. And then a year later, they implemented this alternative option. I thought you would just pay the pay tap chip in your... I don't think you can say that, Homer. Oh, you get so many Gooner points for all the monster fucker stuff I'd buy. Okay, wait. What monster fucker content are we talking about? Like, I need clear monster fucker I censored. You meant cuck. You are cuck. You meant cuck. That's what you meant. You went cuck. I think we read over the deal site news already, so I'll probably skip that. I'm gonna keep doing news sweeps though. Yeah, cuck. There you go, cuck. Yeah, the cuck pays. Part of the definition, someone is hungry. I am hungry. Does anyone want to buy me dinner? Exclamation point tip. Tip, get it? Just tip. Let's see. Is there any other news? What kind of monster fucker content? Yes, that checks out. That sounds about right. Let's see. Is there anything else going on in the PayPro front? I'm not sure if there really is. I'm not going to read over the UK petition response. Let's see. I didn't talk about Manga. Oh my god, my fucking like New Jersey accent coming out. Manga Planet. Let's talk about Manga Planet really quickly, just because this was a site affected, and I don't think I discussed it on my stream yet. So let's do that. Let me get it like all in one frame. Manga Planet. Okay, there we go. This is about as good as it's gonna get. Manga Planet. October 1st, 2025. Closure of Manga Planet's digital platform. Buy you dinner. Maybe we can start with taking you to dinner. Maybe you can just be my dinner. Getting fruit at Mango Planet. Okay, type 1 if you want to be my dinner, chat. Who wants me to devour them after stream? I'm seeing some ones of a quickness. You all are so adorable. You all are so delicious. Maybe we could just take one. Castell, you're so adorable. Anna, please. Why? What's wrong? 1.5, head fog. Maybe my mouth will cure your head fog. All right. Serious. Closure of Manga Planet's digital platform. Thank you very much for supporting Manga Planet since our launch in 2019. So this is about 12 days ago. Through our digital subscription service. Sorry, my bad. Damn, that was 1,000 good girl points. Wow, you must be a good girl. You must really be a good girl then, Castell. You must be my good girl. Yeah, that's right. I guess that's what's happening. Through our digital subscription service and platform, our team has worked to increase legal access to manga in English and ways for artists and publishers to receive support for their work. Over the years, access to manga has evolved, and we are happy to see an increasing number of legal ways for readers to enjoy and support manga. You have 3K still. You should come in tomorrow for the ASMR stream. There will definitely be opportunities for you to redeem tomorrow. However, due to various circumstances like recent restrictions from payment processors and the changing online landscape, our team has found it difficult to continue. Azor, you're giving me your good girl points. Delicious.
Don't let Vor distract you.
Oh my god. Thank you, Homer. Oh my god. I'm gonna order like Taco Bell or something. Thank you. Oh my god. Thank you.
Oh boy. Wow.
Eat your opponents. Yes. That was, what an iconic moment. In Anna Vallen's history. What was I gonna say? I saw that redeem drop first before the sound did. I braced myself. I was ready for the burp. That's actually my own burp. Wait. Okay. Okay, chat. You gotta hear this crazy ass burp I had when I was recording the other day. I think I put Taco Bell is such a mood. I want it so bad. I want to lay in bed. I want to eat Taco Bell. Okay, you got to hear. I was recording. So I have my new Gynus ASMR, which you should check out on Patreon Subscribestar. But I was recording this like mini like Gynus audio that was supposed to be like low on sound effects, just something to put up. And then I decided to do the one that I did anyway. And I had a crazy ass burp while I was at the start of the recording, even though this wasn't supposed to be a Vor audio. So you got to hear it, guys. You got to hear it. 1 second. I got to set it up correctly. Isn't that crazy? Oh my god. I even stopped. I was like, oh my god. Here. And then. Oh my god. Okay. If I get a burp like this, it's because I just drank Coke. I just drank Coke. Coke always does that to me. I know, wow, right? The fucking lol. Curling up in bed with like 6 pillows and 3 blankies and so many big stuffies in a bag full of Taco Bell goodness is so good. It's so good. I need to expand my stuffies collection. I only have 2 stuffies right now. I need more stuffies. And I have a Daki too. I have my Maki Madaki. Were those real? All of my burps are real, and all my ASMRs. My gulps I get from Lude K, but my burps, those are all real. And including that burp. That was a real burp. That was straight from me, mid-recording. Usually what happens is I inevitably burp during an ASMR recording because I'm drawing in a lot of air and then letting it out. I'm drawing in a lot of air and then letting it out. And then, yeah. I haven't done a fake burp in audio since probably early 2024. All my all my burps are real. I have like more than 30 stuffies. Show me your stuffy collection. I want to see it. One of them is a 51-inch teddy bear. I want to see it. I want to see your stuffies. I want to see. You should post your stuffies on Twitter. I want to see your stuffies. I almost counted them, but I got stopped fast time.
You have a Makomadaki? Actually, never mind. That checks out.
I got it for Secret Santa in 2023. Yeah, I got it for Secret Santa in 2023. A former friend's boyfriend had me as Secret Santa, and my friend at the time and he was like, I don't know, like, should I get like a Makima Daki? Is that gonna be a bit much? And she was like, Anna would fucking love a Makima Daki. Get her a fucking Makima Daki. So I'm at this friend's place, and all I'm gonna say is she's a games journalist, and she appreciates my ludity, but it's not her thing. And I'm at her place, and I'm opening up this Secret Santa like gift. I'm like, what the fuck could this be? This is so base. I'm opening it up, and then the first thing I see is just like bare tit. And then one of my other friends just says like, oh, that's full frontal labia. And then I look at it, and like the front side is like, let me look at it. The back side is her like going to town on like, you know, the the goods, and the front side is pussy exposed. And I was just like, oh my god. Oh my god. Is it okay for me to get this gift right now at this friend's place? It was a very good gift. I immediately took photos after. I think I have an old pic of my collection on my bed before I moved it into my office. I gotta take some boxes off the shelf so I have more room for them in here. Oh, based. One of my major goals is to make enough money as an ASMRist and VTuber to have like my own 2-bedroom place. So I have like my bedroom, and then I also have an office for recording, like a soundproof treated room. So technically that could eventually be the place I'm currently at, but it probably would have to move out for that. So anyway, okay, let's get through this, and then I'm going to go eat Taco Bell or whatever. Over the years, access to manga has evolved, and we are happy to see an increasing number of legal ways for readers to enjoy and support manga. Have I missed any good burps? Oh my god, ISFJ, INFJ, we just had some crazy good burps. My friends just keep sending me stuffies. My office, my closet. I need to see photos. I gotta see photos. This is urgent. I must see the photos. Over the years, access to manga has evolved, and we are happy to see an increasing number of legal ways for readers to enjoy and support manga. However, due to various circumstances like recent restrictions from payment processors and the changing online landscape, our team has found it difficult to continue. With saddened hearts, we plan to close Manga Planet's digital service at the end of March 2026. While we will no longer operate an independent digital platform, we will shift focus to print licenses and continue our print releases through our Manga Planet label and Futakiya imprint. Below is the closure schedule for Manga Planet's digital platform. Any updates or changes will be made through our website and official social media accounts. October 1st, today. October 31st, 3, 6, and 12-month passes and points made unavailable for purchase. February 28th, 1 week and 1 month passes made unavailable for purchase. March 31st, Manga Planet's digital platform closes. Late April, support for Manga Planet pass refunds ends. That was a good one. Wow. We thank you again for all your support for the years and apologize deeply for our lack of strength to continue digitally. Our team will work to bring beloved titles to print and expand availability. Future print licenses, license announcements, and updates will be made in the near future through our official social media accounts and websites. So, damn, that sucks. That sucks, dude. But that's the way it goes out here. And unless this payment processor stuff stops, it's gonna keep happening. I'll take pics after I tidy it up. Oh, word, I gotta clean my room. Do you remember you posted about this a while ago, maybe a week or two ago? I did. Yeah. I did. It was, I don't think I talked about it on stream, but I did for sure share it because it was obviously a big fucking problem. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't really think there's obviously other stuff happening. There's stuff with Kosa, for example, that's happening, but that's really it. Yeah. Okay, so I haven't done the schedule for this week yet, but let me talk about what my plan is really quickly. I was thinking tomorrow is ASMR day, but would you guys be interested in a different kind of ASMR stream. Instead, I was thinking, a lot of times when I stream, it's only my ASMR streams that I actually get into character. Usually I'm just like kind of vibing with my avatar. You know, like I'm on, like, you know, I'm in my streaming voice, my speaking voice, but a lot of times it kind of is just like me chatting and vibing. I was thinking maybe instead of a traditional Giannis Vor stream tomorrow, what if I do like a gaming stream or something like that, but role play as a character the entire time? Like maybe play like a demon or like more of my succubus characters or something. So like imagine me playing Valorant and I'm like, all right, chat, let's see if we can win this round. Oh, I died. These pathetic humans always shooting me in the head. Do they have nothing better to do than play their filthy video games? That sounds interesting. Okay. I'm not sure if I'd play Val, because Val requires a lot of mental focus to stay in character while I do that. But maybe, I don't know. But yes, that's what I was thinking for tomorrow. Diversified a little bit. I can still have some Vor elements maybe. So like only thing can be like, can you hold character? Well, it's also like a challenge. It's also a challenge for that reason. I think I can though, because I have done brief moments of holding character while I play video games. Like I've done that in Val before. So Mega Bonk Succubus stream. Yeah, it could be that actually. I was also considering alternatively, like actually reading a visual novel on stream might be fun. Like that might be a good use of the ASMR section too. Like I sit down and like I read an ASMR. I read a visual novel like with voice acting. So instead of like just reading it normally, I'd be like, you know, like I went into the hallway. I wanted to see what was going on. I held the girl's hand and she held mine. Then she kissed me on the lips. I kissed her on the lips back. She kissed me on the lips again. Then she kissed me one more time. Then she turned to me and said, looking right into my eye, I think this means you're pregnant. I knew it was right. She got me pregnant by holding my hand and kissing me. Something like that too. Either the visual novel thing or playing in character. That'll be great. I have a normal amount of enthusiasm about this. Hell fucking yeah. I need to do more Goddess Anna streams too. I have an abnormal amount of enthusiasm about this. Base. All right, chat. All right. If you want our opinion, do it, then up the difficulty as you build confidence. Oh, that's a smart idea. Be fun to do with different VTubers too. I think the only thing is when I do in Valorant, I would have I wouldn't be calming or talking to people at all. All right. All right. That's that. If you like the stream, don't forget to hit the follow button. Don't forget to hit the sub button. Exclamation point tip and biddies. Delicious biddies. Always welcome. Thank you for the head pass. I will see you all tomorrow.